Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial using the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. Well, technically it's not a full-blown makeup tutorial, it's just the eyeshadow look that I'm going to be showing you guys. But if you do want to see what I did to my face, definitely check out my last video. It's basically the same exact thing. The only difference is that I did use a little less concealer. But other than that, same products, same technique, nothing changed. So definitely check that video out if you guys want to see what I have on my face. So looking at the palette, it has really pretty shades. Let me show you guys here on the outside what it looks like. So the packaging is really pretty. I do appreciate that they have a lot of scenes on the actual palette itself. It's called Born to Run, so it makes sense, I guess. And I actually picked mine up over at Ulta. It was $49, I believe. And it has, let's see, it has 21 shades. So I mean, for $49, 21 shades is not really bad. So I haven't really played much with the palette. All I've done is swatch it on my hands, but I haven't really applied it. On my hand, it does seem to blend well. The color seemed pretty intense. So we'll see once we actually apply it to our eyes if it holds up to the same standards. It does look like it would blend out well, so we'll see when we actually use it on our eyes. But let me try to show you guys here the colors. So has really pretty neutral colors over at the top, also has some magenta, pinkish colors, and some greens in there. So yeah, it's a really pretty palette. It's definitely versatile, so you'll be able to do neutral everyday looks as well as dramatic night looks. I don't know. Looking at the palette, I don't really know what look I'm going to do. There are a lot of pretty shades, so it looks like it would be fun to play with. So I'll try to stick away from my bronzy neutral looks, and I'll try to add some color in there. The green shade in the palette called Wanderlust is really catching my attention, but Big Sky looks really beautiful as well, so I don't know, I guess we'll get started, and as I go I'll figure out what I do. So yeah, if you guys want to see what look I come up with, then definitely keep watching. Alright guys, so the first step is going to be priming my eyes. I already applied foundation and powder in there, so that's what I'm going to use for my primer. So I'm just going to jump straight into the transition shade. Alright, so I think I'm going to go into Weekender and use that as my transition shade. It's just a really taupey light color, so I'm just going to start off with that and see what is the intensity in my eye. And to apply it, I'm going to be using the Morphe M504 brush. It's just a really fluffy, kind of a dome-shaped brush, something like that. I like the shape of it. I feel like it disperses the product really well. So I'm going to dip into Weekender, kind of just take off the excess and apply it just above my crease. And I'm going in circular and windshield wiper motions to spread the product. So it seems to be a very light color. You can barely tell that I have anything on. But I do like to start more with the lighter shades, and if I do want to intensify, I can always add a different shade in there. It's just nice to have a light starting point. Alright, so as you guys can tell, it's not a very intense color. It just kind of defines the eyes just a little bit. And I do like that color, so that way I can blend in my darker shades into it. And let's see. Now I'm going to pick up some of the Rift shade. It's more of a camel brown color. It's just a little bit darker, so I'm going to start intensifying the eyeshadows. And to apply it, I'm using the M511 brush. So I'm just dipping the product in there, same thing, and shaking off the excess. And I'm going to apply it just below the other shade that I have. And I'm using the tiniest bit of pressure. So that actually did a pretty big difference. So let's keep applying just to intensify. And to apply this product, I'm doing the same thing. So I'm just going in circular and windshield wiper motion. I just find that it's the best way to blend out the product. And I'm going to go back to the same brush that I used before, so the M504. I'm not adding any more product. I'm just going over the edges to really make sure that it's blended out. Alright, so now that we have both shadows really blended into each other, I'm going to really focus on deepening up the look. So I think I'm going to go into the shade Punk. It seems to be a really dark, kind of reddish brown shade. So I'm going to dip in my Morphe M503 brush in there, and same thing, shake off the excess, and I'm going to focus this mostly on the outer edge, really applying the product and kind of focusing on blending it there and then making my way forward. And I'm really trying to stay below the other shades just because I do want them to show and I want this to blend into the other shades. So on my eyes, it doesn't really have much of a red shade. It just kind of looks brown. But on the pan, it definitely has a little bit of a red hue in it. Alright, you can see the difference between each eye. So this one is a lot more defined. It just looks a lot more put together. And this one's just a light wash of shade in there. So let's even these out. Again, starting on the corner, blending it, really staying there in circular motions, and then just bringing in whatever is left in there. I don't know why, but I feel like this eye catches the color a lot easier and I really have to work on this one. Yet here I just do it twice and boom, same payoff. I don't know, that's weird. Right? Yeah, see, so I feel like I worked a lot harder here and I'm pretty much at the same intensity here, so whatever. Right, and now that I laid down that color, I'm going to go back to that M504 brush, again, not adding any product, and I'm just going to go through the edges really quick. I always do this in between each shadow that I do. I don't know, to me it makes a difference. Right, and I think I want to make it a little darker. There is a shade in here called Good as Gone. It's kind of just a brown shade. Hopefully it's a little darker, so I'm going to try to deepen it up just a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to use the Morphe M3222 brush. It's just a round, and I'm just dipping it right into the pan there and taking off the excess. And same thing, different brush, different shade, but again, just right at the end here. And this is a denser brush, so it should apply the color a little more intensely here. Bring it forward. And then just try to blend it out. So I'm going to go back to the same brush that I was using before. It was the M503. And I'm going to try to just blend that out a little better. This one is a bigger brush, so it blends out easier. So I'm just going to go over that dark shade that I just applied and just try to blend everything together. Doesn't matter if it gets on the lid because I am going to go in with concealer to try to carve out the lid area. So definitely use that space to blend. So I'm going to go back to the M504 brush, and this time I am going to apply a little product. So that Riff shade, the second shade that we use, I'm going to go in there, take off whatever's excess, and try to blend the shades together. It just kind of brings back that color that we lost, deepening up the look. And I'm really making sure that I don't have any harsh lines. Sometimes it is hard when you use dark colors, but I try to blend it out as much as I can. So I'm gonna go back between brushes just to blend out. Alright, so now that pretty much the shades are done, all I'm missing is the lid shade. I'm going to go into the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and mine is in the shade Light Sand. And I'm going to use this with a Morphe M124 brush to really carve out my crease. And that way, the lid color that I put on is going to show up a lot more intensely. So I'm just putting my brush right into the concealer here when I pull up the wand. And I'm going to kind of just carve it out here. And then just carve that out. Right, and I did get a little concealer. I guess when I opened my eye, it got some on the top here. So I'm gonna just kind of blend that out as best as I can. Right, okay, that blended out a lot easier than I thought it would, so not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so I'm still indecisive on what color I want to put on my lid. So it's between the green and... So it's between Wanderlust, Big Sky, and Radio. I don't know which one I want to use. Oh my god. I think I'm going to go with Big Sky. It's a really interesting color. It's kind of green, teal, blue, all in one. So let's give it a go. And I'm going to apply it with just an eyeshadow brush that I got in a BH Cosmetics set. Again, it doesn't have a number, but I just always go to this one whenever I'm applying shades to my lid. And I'm digging into Big Sky here. Wow, it's really pretty. I'm just gonna place that product. Wow. Wow, that's pretty intense. I'm just placing the product where I applied the concealer. It serves as a really good base. So as I'm placing the eyeshadow, it's literally just sticking onto it. Wow, that's so pretty. Definitely glad I used this color. That is stunning. Let's do the same thing to the other eye here. So just applying it to where I place the concealer. I'm just patting it down here because I'm trying to avoid fallout, even though I'm not really seeing any, but just in case. So I'm patting it down. And I think I'm going to go back to the M322 brush and the Punk shade in the palette and use that to kind of blend out where the shimmer shade and the rest of my eye look meet. I'm also finding that these colors blend out pretty easily, and that shimmer shade applied really well. There's literally no fallout, so definitely a good thing. Especially since I already have my foundation on, which I should always remember to do my eyeshadows first, but I don't know. I just love face products, so I guess I get so excited that I just go for it first. So that's that color, and now I'm going to go again to the big fluffy brush that I applied my transition shade. No product, and just kind of go through the whole look here. I just like continue to go back and forth. There's really no technique to this. It's just until I'm happy with it. So I just go back and forth between the brushes, blend out the different colors. And then at a certain point, I guess I'll be okay with it. I'm just going to go one more time into that big fluffy brush here. Go through it. Wow, that color's really pretty. It's different too, which I can appreciate here. So I think that's going to be the eye look for now. So I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. And I'm going to be using, I'm going to use the e.l.f. liquid liner in black. This is definitely my favorite. I love how thin the wand is, and you know, every now and then I can get that flick right. It just depends what kind of day I'm having. So hopefully today's a good one. I need to get like really close to the mirror here, so I'm sorry if you see it. And I don't really like thick liners, but honestly sometimes I just mess up, and trying to fix it and ends up being like my whole eye area. But I try to do it thin. That's the goal here. That's the easy part. Let's move on to the wing. Alright, so now that I drew out the actual wing there, I'm going to try to connect it to the rest of the eyeliner and then just fill in the gaps there. It's so weird that I started on this eye. I usually start on my left. I might have to keep doing it that way because this is actually not terrible. I know, with my eye shape, I feel like eyeliner makes a world of a difference. I have kind of droopy eyes. Towards the end here they really droop, so I need that eyeliner to really define it and kind of lift it up a little bit. Right, so I mean that's the easy part, just kind of drawing that out. If I didn't have the droopy eye I would totally stop there, but I need the wing. So let's see how this one comes out. So honestly, today was a good wing day. Okay. So I have the wing done, so I guess I'm gonna move to the under eye area. I'm gonna move on to eyeliner for my lower lash line, and I'm gonna be using the NARS Larger Than Life Long Wear Eyeliner, and it's in the shade Via Veneto. It's just a really dark black shade. I love these NARS eyeliners. I find that they stay the longest on, I mean like reasonably long. Obviously we're putting this in our waterline, so it's gonna wear off throughout the day. It does wear off throughout the day, but it does last a pretty long time, so I'm happy with that. So I'm just gonna apply this to my waterline. Wow, that's pretty intense. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. So just applying the eyeliner to the waterline. It definitely makes a world of a difference. Alright, so now I think I'm going to apply the Good As Gone shade from the Born to Run palette. And I'm going to place that right under the eyeliner. And try to push it into the eyeliner just to set it. And that way it'll last longer. So just kind of pushing the product up. And I like to focus most of it on the end here because that's where I like the most definition. And then whatever's left over, I'll just bring it forward. So same thing here, just pushing up towards the eyeliner, then dragging whatever's left to the front. Right, and now I'm going to go into the Riff shade, which was the second shade that I used on my lid to deepen up the crease. And I'm going to use the Morphe M321 brush to apply that and to just kind of blend out our shadows down here. So I'm just going over the darker shade that I just placed and kind of dragging it down to blend it out. I am going for sort of a smoky look down there. And with the blending, I did lose a little bit of the darker shade that I just placed. So I'm going to go back into the Morphe M432 brush. It's just a flat definer brush. And just push it back in towards the end here. And I'm not going to blend it out. I'm just going to kind of press it in. Just so it's defined. Right, and pretty much the last thing I have to do as far as eyeshadows is the inner corner highlights. So I think I'm going to go into Breakaway, which is the first shadow on the top row of the palette. And I'm going to go back to the BH Cosmetics brush that I used to apply my lid shade. I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit here on a napkin and dip it in. And then just kind of apply it here to the inner corner. Thought I was going to be a lot brighter than that. I don't know why I have the hardest time trying to find a good inner corner highlight color. The last one that I used to use a lot was the MAC Nylon. That one was actually intense, but I've never found anything to really do the same thing. This one's kind of falling short for me here. So, I mean, it brightened it up a little bit. It's just not as intense as I actually wanted it to be. Since the lid color is really intense, I expected more from that shade. Alright, so I'm just going to coat my lashes a little bit with some mascara. And I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Carbon Black. Just a quick coat, nothing too intense because I am going to attempt false lashes. So we'll see how that goes. So just really quickly brushing through them. And I'm just going to let that dry up a little bit just so I'm not applying my wet just so I'm not applying my lashes on my wet mascara. Alright, so I think I'm going to use, I believe these are from Ardell, and they're the Wispies. It's just a double pack that comes with the little glue for it as well. So, are these supposed to be sticky? So I'm going to use the glue that it came with and just apply the tiniest bit. This is where I have the hardest time trying to squeeze this out. And I'm going to let that dry for a little bit just so it gets tacky. And then I'll apply it to my eyelashes. Okay, so now that the glue is pretty tacky, I'm just going to try to place it first on the middle. And then work on the edges and then do the inner corner for last. So I'm just going to try to place it on this part here. And I'm trying to get it as close as possible to the lash line there. And then pushing it in. Oops. The inner corner is always the hardest because it wants to just plop up there. So I'm trying to just leave it pressed down. Right, and the glue kind of got on my eyeliner, but that's okay because we can just always go over it. I'm gonna let that really stick on there. So it's a pretty big difference between each eye here. It's definitely much more put together on the side that has the lashes on. And I'm just trying to blend my natural lashes with the falsies together, just kind of running my fingers under it and just spreading it. And just focus on placing the edge here, and then I'll worry about sticking it in the front. So I'm just trying to really make sure that it's sticking to my lashes there, and then I'll place the front part. Right, so now that the lashes are on and the lash glue is dry, I'm just going to go over the little edges here just to make sure that it's all well blended together with the same e.l.f. eyeliner. So I'm just really lightly going over it just to make sure the glue isn't visible on any area. Especially on the front here, just so you don't notice that there's a separation. Right, so that is pretty much the whole eye look right there. And the only thing I need to complete the look is a lip color. So I'm trying to decide between these two. This one's more of a nude. This one has like some gold flecks in there, so I think it's going to be too much with the eye look. So I think I'm going to use the Kylie Cosmetics Candy K liquid lipstick. And to line my lips, I'm going to use a Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner in the shade Bear to Comet. It's definitely my favorite lip liner right now. So I'm not going to overdraw my lips at all. I'm just going over the same, my natural lip line. And I'm also going to fill it in just a little bit. I always do like to leave the little center here bare. Right, and now I'm going to apply the liquid lipstick. Wow, it's a really pretty shade. It literally matches perfectly with the lip liner. And like I showed you guys in my last video, I'm going to use a tissue paper and just put my lips over it. I just find that it gives me more of a pouty look and it takes off any excess liquid lipstick. So that way if I'm eating or drinking or anything, nothing's going to come off. So I'm just gonna... Alright guys, so thank you for watching my video. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!